You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And welcome this Sunday. I'm happy that you're here. I'd say get your coffee and everything, but I tell you, I thought it was morning time still. Listen, on Sundays, it's my chore day. That's the day that I get up, I clean the house, I do my laundry, I catch up on emails, I record a podcast. So I get busy. You know, when you are single and you're living alone, you have to do everything. You have no help whatsoever. And let me tell you, I have 3 dogs. They do no help. They just make more of a mess. But it's my Sunday and my chore day, and that's what I do. And I like the Sunday because I now know that I'm prepared for the remainder of the week. I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. I've got everything clean and put away, and I'm done. But I'm also thinking today about, we're only just a few more days before Thanksgiving. And I think really we have forgotten the meaning of Thanksgiving. And as I go through the meaning of Thanksgiving and what really happened on Thanksgiving, I want you to remember this word, defy. Defy. So back in good old Europe, we had a lot of people who were getting fed up. They were being oppressed by kings and rulers who were overtaxing them, telling them what religion to worship, telling them what they could and could not do. If they wanted land, they had to go before the king to get granted land. It was totally controlled by government. And by ruthless government, because back then it was dirty. If you didn't follow what their government said, off with your head. You died. You lost everything. Your family was destroyed. Your name was destroyed. So we had these individuals get into this boat called the Mayflower, and they were going to try and find a free world, a place where freedom actually existed. So they got into this boat, and they went across the sea, and they landed in America on Plymouth Rock. And they began to build communities. They began to build houses and gardens, plant the seed, getting to know a relationship with the native Indians, and beginning to form a government with less government. No oppression. And so they had their first Thanksgiving where they gave thanks that they actually made it through the winters. They had a good relationship with the Indians. They had planted corn together. They had learned what corn was all about. And they sat and they had a turkey and they had some meat and they give thanks and they were happy and they had fun. And they laughed, and they told God how thankful that they really were to be in this brand new land, brand new life, no oppression. But then pretty soon there came oppression. The British came over, wanted to rule America. But the new Americans, this new country, decided to fight back on the British, and they had to go back to their nation. We won. We won that. We fought back oppression and a king that wanted to rule America, that wanted to be taxed, but we had no representation. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's happening right now. So now we come to 2020. We now know the history of what Thanksgiving is all about. And at this very moment in time, we are at the process of being oppressed by a government again. Governors, mayors have said, no Thanksgiving. You can only meet 5 people, maybe 10 people in some states. And if you disobey that, it's going to be a criminal offense. So I'm going to say the word one more time. Defy. Defy oppressive government. COVID has now been with us for quite some time, and you and I, we have been practicing safe health. Not safe sex, but safe health. In fact, probably none of us have had any sex. That's how oppressed we've been. I don't know. It's just joking there. But we have been oppressed. We have been told that we couldn't leave our homes. We were locked down. We were told how to breathe and what to wear to breathe. We have been oppressed. And government knew that they could oppress us because we would not stand up. Because we are the type of people who have come along throughout the years of this nation trusting our government. We have said, okay, we will obey the laws of government. Unfortunately, the lockdowns, not lawful. The keeping us from seeing our families, unlawful. Shutting down churches, constitutionally unlawful. Shutting down and closing businesses and driving us into bankruptcy, unlawful. Not one single thing of this COVID virus has been lawful. If you look at the recent court decision against Gavin Newsom, where the court has said he overextended his powers in shutting down, in creating a government apart from the Constitution of California and apart from the Constitution of the United States. He overspent his powers. He created powers he did not have. Finally, the judge stepped in and said, this isn't going to happen anymore. You're no longer going to oppress America. Then if you listen to Justice Alito, who came out this last week and said that our religious freedoms are being challenged by government, and that if we do not watch it, we will lose our freedom to worship. Listen to his remarks and listen to them well, because he's giving us a warning. As a member of the Supreme Court, he's giving us this very clear warning of how we are going to lose our religious freedom based upon the oppression of government. If you are a religious person, you should be defying that. If you are a pastor that has the power of your church, defy government and open up your churches. Because what you have done is you have obeyed government and shut down your churches in violation of the Constitution, just because they said, but they have no power to tell you to do that. If it ever went to the Supreme Court, they would lose. The government would lose hands down. And we have been warned of this by a justice of the Supreme Court. The first time I've ever seen a justice come out and really make that statement. He literally had the guts to come out and say, watch out, because your religious freedom is just about to end because of government oppression. And if you look at the holiday of Thanksgiving, it is about giving thanks, and it's about giving thanks to God. So if they shut down Thanksgiving, they have just knocked a hole in religious freedom again. How many of you go to church on Thanksgiving and you sing praises to God because you're so thankful of what He has done for you? Well, that will end per the justice, because government is trying to oppress you. So I use that word. Remember the word I used at the very beginning of this podcast, Defy Government. Open up your homes and celebrate Thanksgiving. Open up your churches and celebrate with God and let God come back into the church, because you have locked him out. You have locked him out also, because when you lock out his people, you lock out God. I love Thanksgiving. I tell you, when I was young, I went to a private school, a church school. In fact, it was in the church that I went to. It was up in the state of Washington. Grades 1 through 5. We had one room, 15 kids, and one teacher, Mrs. Redberg. Best teacher I've ever had. I still remember her name. I can't remember any of my other names, but I can remember Mrs. Redberg. My mom happened to be the homeroom school leader, and that was a position that arranged for you to go on special programs, to raise money for the school, to buy new books, to buy new crayons, to go on field trips. She was the one that did all that. And my mom truly loved Thanksgiving. So every single year, 2 nights before Thanksgiving, everybody would get together at the school, and we would put on a Thanksgiving program. All 15 of us. And we always sang that Thanksgiving song, "Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go." Remember that? I love that song. And we would sing that. It was tradition that we sang it every single Thanksgiving. Then after that play that we would give, my mom had arranged so that every single family member brought a home cooked good to the program. And there's always cakes and cookies and pumpkin pie and all kinds of goodies, just really kind of goodies. Then we had a father who was a veterinarian, but he was a really good auctioneer. He really knew how to do it. So we would begin auctioning those off. Some went for $5, some went for $2. There was any way that we could make money, because back then, in the 1960s, the dollar went a lot longer. I mean, it went further. So we tried to raise as much money as we could. I think that we raised for that about $300. But $300 could do a whole bunch of different things. And then we would take those pies. We bought so many pumpkin pies. We never had to bake any because we always bought them at this auction. And we would go home and we would begin planning for Thanksgiving. And my mom always had a practice, which I've picked up on, that you've invited people home that didn't have any place to go. And we had a lot of people at our house on Thanksgiving Day. We even had, I started this practice where we had a white tablecloth. And everybody that was there for Thanksgiving, they would write their name on it and the date that they were there. And then my mom would crochet the name and the date onto the white tablecloth. I still have that tablecloth. But it told us who was there. And that pretty soon, that tablecloth was filled with names of people who celebrated Thanksgiving with us on that day. So then I skip a few years. I mean, a lot of years. When I lived in California for 13 years, I would cook Thanksgiving. I would get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and would not finish until 1 o'clock when everybody started pouring in to have Thanksgiving dinner. I always cooked 2 turkeys, 2 beef roasts, all kinds of side dishes. And we were literally feeding people from 1 p.m. in the afternoon until 11 p.m. at night. I always had the Christmas tree up. I'm sorry, excuse me about that. I always put the Christmas tree up. People were able to take pictures in front of the tree. Everybody was dressed up. The little kids were dressed up. Little kids would chase my dog all around, and Skippy was so happy because he had somebody to play with. But I cooked all day, and we always had people. We had the people that had no family, had no place to go, had been come to the United States and had no one here except themselves. So by the time we had finished, we had over 50 people pouring in and out of the house during during Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving has always been one of my favorite holidays because it's that time where you give, but at the same time you give thanks because you're so thankful that you can give just this small gift to people. And so we are at this time again, we're at Thanksgiving, but here we are just as the Pilgrims left and tried to escape oppression from a government. Here we are, you and I, Americans, brothers and sisters. And we're being oppressed again by government, trying to shut our Thanksgiving down. How stupid are we to allow government to shut us down? To be able to give thanks, to be able to hear the stories of our friends and our relatives, to understand what's going on in their lives. We have been locked down already. We all have survived. Some have passed away. God bless them. But you and I, we're still alive, and we have to move forward in our life. And we have to fight this oppression. And we have to defy it. We can no longer sit around and let government destroy our lives, our businesses. We can't do that. We can no longer let government shut our churches down, our ability to worship. Let's really listen to the justice of the Supreme Court as he has warned us that our religious freedom is about to end because government uses that to oppress us. Let's be wise about this. We are Americans. I love you. You love me. Sometimes we don't see things in the same light politically. Sometimes in religion also. But we still love each other. We still respect each other. Those of you that hate, you're not going to get very far. If you hate somebody just because of how they believe or how they vote or how they support another person, and if you hate them so bad that you don't want anything to do with them, then you're worthless. Because in this nation, we respect other people's views. We love them just the same. We will support them in their time of need. If there's any place in this world when you're down and out, an American will step in and help. And if you're in this world, if you're far away, and if you have had a hurricane or a tornado or anything that has destroyed your nation or your communities, Americans are always the first one there. We pack up our boxes, food, clothing, whatever we have, and we send it. Right now, there's something going on from a typhoon that completely destroyed families, washed away their homes. And I see online right now where people are trying to raise money to send to these people so that they can live again. And we do the same thing for here in America when we have hurricanes that come on shore and they destroy houses and neighborhoods. We have people in boats trying to help them, trying to save them. And at the end of the year in November, we have this great day called Thanksgiving where we literally sit down with our friends and our family and we say, I am so thankful for you. I am so thankful that you're my friend. I'm so thankful that you're my relative. I'm so thankful that we are able to sit here no matter how you believe and we can have a good laugh. We can have a cup of coffee together, have a piece of pumpkin pie with whipping cream on it, and we can tell our stories without any hate, without any action of despise. but we love each other. We're Americans. And we don't let government tell us what to do when it comes to our friends and our family. We are very smart. We know how to take care of ourselves in this COVID environment. We know what to do. Thanksgiving. Let's not be oppressed anymore. Let's not be a pilgrim and have to go across a world in a small boat, being hit by storms and waves and snow and sleet, people dying, people being sick, just to try to find a place where they're not oppressed, where they have freedoms, where they can create a good government, where they can trust their government. And each of us can live our own lives safely. So, my message to you is two things. Be thankful for Thanksgiving. Be happy. And secondly, defy government. It's time now that we are Americans and we stand up and we say, no more. No more lockdowns. No more telling us how to celebrate our holidays. No more. We will survive. And we're going to be thankful about it because we have Thanksgiving to be thankful for. And if you want to sing whatever songs that you want to sing, if you want to sing the old song of the Thanksgiving song, sing it. Be happy. Eat that piece of pumpkin pie. Eat 2 and 3 and 4 if you want to. Put the best whipping cream that you can on it. Get that slice of turkey, get a bun, and make yourself a really good sandwich after you've already eaten 2 or 3 meals that day. But sit down with that friend and sit down with that relative and you talk your heart out. Even if you have a mask on, talk your heart out. Love that individual. Be thankful. Listen, if you have any comments or questions, send me a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. Find out what I do for my day job. Buy a couple of my books and put it in somebody's Christmas stocking. I love Thanksgiving. Can't wait for that turkey. Can't wait for that pumpkin pie. I love all of you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll talk more about Thanksgiving over the next couple of weeks. But today, go out. Enjoy life. Be happy. But defy government. One more time. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. God bless you. Love you all. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. Love you all. God bless you. Bye-bye.